Welcome. This is Convert Lease Option to Wraparound Financing Spreadsheet. My name is Jeffrey Smith. This is a short demonstration video for using the spreadsheet to calculate the parameters for a ForRent Method transaction. You find a motivated seller who is receptive to selling the property on a lease with option. And then you connect that seller with a motivated buyer who is unable or unwilling to acquire bank financing to purchase the property now, but will lease the property with an option to buy, and at some later date, in 2 or 3 years, will be able to qualify for new bank financing to cash out the seller. The general method is to ask the seller what monthly payment they want and how much of that they will use for a applied monthly rent credit. Take the rent credit, multiply it by the number of months in the lease term, and then add that to the fair market value of the property, so that by the end of the lease term, the marked up price has been paid down through the applied rent credits, and then the buyer can get a bank loan and pay off the remainder of the property. So we start with the spreadsheet. Let's reset it to its initial state. And then we will go to the portfolio controls and clear it, starting fresh. And now we've specified the fair market value is $300,000. Down here in the lease option term, we'll use 36 months. And then we'll click No Debt, because we don't care about the debt. Click Set FRM, which is ForRent Method Parameters. And now the spreadsheet is set up with the financial parameters. You will also want to go to the Superb Seller worksheet and specify the seller's name and contact information, and to the Best Buyer worksheet, specify your best buyer's contact information, and then you'll be able to add the data to the portfolio controls. This creates a data row. And now you'll be able to build the mail merge data from this information that you've assigned to the property-specific input cells. Now in the ForRent method, there is the Joe Crump way of doing it, which is where you become a principal party as a lessee and an optionee, and then you will assign your contractual position to the buyer that you found. Thus, your name appears on the contracts, and there will be assignment clauses in those contracts allowing you to assign to a third party. Now, in my way of doing this, we add one level of indirection to this, where we create an option to lease with option. So you have an option contract with the seller, where the seller has agreed to enter into a lease with option transaction with a third party, and therefore the lease agreement and the option to buy contract have a blank spot for the lessee and the optionee. Now you have another contract with the seller, which is the option to lease with option. When you exercise that option, or you assign that option to a third party, and that third party exercises the option, the optionee will then sign the lease agreement and the option to buy contract, and will then enter that transaction. So to do that, we go down here and notice that we have the Turn On for Rent method. This is the flag that's detected by the dynamic mail merge templates. There's also taking title on seller wrap. This flag is also used when you are using the Joe Crump method of becoming a bound principal party in the lease with option. You turn off this flag, add another data row with that flag turned off, and then you build the mail merge data. With that flag turned off, the dynamic mail merge templates will generate blanks where the lessee and optionee go in the lease with option transaction. Now that the mail merge data has been processed, we want to save it as a plain text file. Save the file. Now we can open up a mail merge template. We can see from the mailings that we're on record number 1. This file has already loaded in the plain text. We can see from this information, this is the Joe Crump version, so my name is listed as the lessee in the transaction. And this is all that we show the owner. We show the purchase price that the owner wants is $300,000. We're marking up that price with the applied rent credit for the duration of the lease option term. And now we have the blended junior and senior tranches as the blended financing parameters. So the monthly payment is $2,400. The beginning value is $314,400. At the end of the lease option term, that will be paid down to $300,000. So we've paid off $14,400 of principal, plus the interest in the transaction means that the total periodic payments are $86,400, which is 36 times the blended periodic payment. Adding to it the redemption value means that this transaction has generated $386,400 for the seller. If we look at record number 2, we now see that we've added some information. The assignment fee that will go into your pocket when you assign your option to the motivated buyer, $25,200. We've also guesstimated on the estimated closing costs of about $3,395. We really don't know what that is until the actual closing occurs, so it's just a guess. And the rest of this is the same. And now we have additional lines at the bottom showing that the motivated buyer has paid $386,400. That went to the seller of the property, plus your assignment fee. So the total cash paid by the motivated buyer is $411,600. We subtract the interest portion to calculate the asset purchase price. Now you would save this as a PDF file. Replacing the PDF file. In this scenario 2, this is my version of the ForRent method where the lessee is left blank. This information will be filled in when your motivated buyer exercises the option after buying that option from you with the assignment fee. This has been Convert Lease Option to Wraparound Financing for ForRent Method Parameters. My name is Jeffrey Smith. Thank you for the opportunity to serve.